Good evening, I'm John Scott. I'm the program director of Green 960 Online and Radio, America's most listened to progressive radio station and web community. This is the Green 960 Speaker Series at Yoshi's. We've had a couple of great events here, election night, inauguration night, and a very special guest, which you're going to see in just a couple of minutes. We have some other events scheduled at Yoshi's in September and November. We'll tell you about them. We're looking for some more A-list people to come join us. This is a night long awaited, much planning, much negotiation, and I'm very, very excited. So tonight it's going to be two girls and a couch. Let me introduce your host, the host of Live from the West Coast, our very, very good live and local show every weeknight from 6 until 8 on Green 960 Online and Radio. Say hello to Angie Coiro.
I get to sit up here with Randy and you don't. Sorry. Thanks for coming in tonight. You guys who listen to my show regularly know that there's usually a lot of shtick about cats. And that's because I wore my white kitty cat that says ooh la la tonight, for those of you who are likewise fans. But I was thinking about that in regards to our guest tonight, because the one thing about cats is they have 9 lives. And they always land on their feet. So we have tonight a woman of many, many incarnations who happily is back live on Green 960, Randi Rhodes. Thank you all for coming. Good night.
I just said on my mind. Can you see through my shirt? Yes, I knew it. I knew it. I was wearing body armor, and I forgot it. And it's the only shirt I brought. I went, oh, with the light, they're going to see right through my shirt. And then I realized we're sitting down.
So I'll have to tell you about the pink embroidered roses, I think.
Howard bought me that.
Yeah, it is.
Howard is in Portland, Maine, 3,000 miles away.
Well, welcome home. It's wonderful to have you back.
Thank you. Scene of the crime. At least you made me a cat and not the dog. I'm always the dog.
I would never. So, but you do keep coming back. You do keep reincarnating in a business where a lot of other cats are falling by the wayside. What do you attribute that to?
I'm stubborn. I don't know. I guess it's the audience. I mean, it's you guys. Every time I leave, it's just everybody's like, "Where is she?" I'm having a nervous breakdown. And I'm sitting in my pajamas having a nervous breakdown too. And I figure we ought to stick together, so I claw my way back, every time. It's like being in the mafia. Every time you think you're out, they pull you back in. So,
it's ironic. Preparing for our talk tonight, I reviewed that documentary on Air America, the very beginnings of Air America.
I was fatter then. See, if I wore a see-through shirt then, everybody would go out running.
But if anyone had looked at that back then and said, pick out the person in this video who's going to be the one that comes out on top and lasts the longest and is still on the air, there you presented warts and all. You presented all your insecurities. You were really, you didn't set
I was
yourself up
braless in a leopard bathrobe with wet hair, smoking a cigarette in my little tiny dining room, saying, I can't say what I said because it was cable, but I said I miss my family, right? And I just, I never in a million years dreamed that with all that star power that they had, that anybody like me would ever break out of that pack. I mean, these were like serious, names that you knew. And, now one is at the Minnesota Supreme Court fighting for a Senate seat. you know, and Janine is like doing 24. So, you know, you never know.
What prepared you to be so diligent? What prepared you to be so just stick to it and stay with it?
Well, you know what? I'm not, there's somebody here who could probably tell you that better. My high school girlfriend, who has been my friend for 30 years, is in this audience, and I don't know where she is, but she texted me, and I told her that they put us out in Redwood City, and I'm in a car all day. She said, well, you know, we're here having dinner at Yoshi's. Will we get to see you? And I was like, I don't know. I'm in a car going to... But Rhonda, where are you?
Hey, Ren.
Where? Oh, hey, Ron. Hi. What makes me so tenacious, Ron? We grew up in a pack of 8 girls. That's what it was. There were 8 of us. It was me, Rhonda, Eileen, Joanne, Terry, and we're all friends for 30 years. We just don't, you know, these relationships that I have, even, you know, with every person I speak to, they're not casual. You know, I really feel them, and they're important to me. So, you know, part of it I do because I have to work and I need to make a living, and the other part I do because people will show up to hear, you know, just what they're thinking, just to feel sane. And I feel sane when I talk to you, so.
Was she always so political?
Really?
What made you political?
The Air Force. Yeah, when I was in the Air Force, I mean, when you go in, you have, you know, no politics. And then when you're in, you have no politics. But when you cut, I mean, some people go in and they think they're Republicans, you know, a lot of them do. And then they get in there and you go through, you know, basic training and stuff, and you're taught repeatedly that you're only as good as the weakest among you, that the weakest person can get you killed. And that's classic liberalism, that you're only as good as the weakest among you, and you have to reach down and pull somebody up. So it's really interesting that every time you talk to ex-military, they're all liberals. That's the dirty little secret. They're all liberals when they come out. When they go in, they think they're Republican. When they come out, they're all liberals. So that's really, you know, what made me political.
What about the military that you see now, that the young ones who are still, amazingly, still enlisting? There are still people enlisting at a time like this.
They're poor. That's why I did it too. It's not a great act of patriotism when you don't have any future to go enlist, you know. It's just not. So, you know, everybody thinks that, you know, the military is this great sacrifice, and when you're in, it is, you know. But when you join, you know, I mean, I remember going home. Rhonda knows my parents. I remember going home. And, you know, you guys know my sister was gay, and, you know, my parents didn't know. And I went to Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn one day, and I signed up for the Air Force because my father had told me, you know, your sister's beautiful, and she's not very smart. She's going to marry well. You're not so pretty, and you're really smart, and men don't like that. You better get a job. So I went down to Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, and I enlisted, and I came home. We're all sitting and having dinner. My father was a man of very few words. And we're sitting at dinner, and there was no laughing at the table. It was a very, you know, strict household and all this. And so, you know, go around the table. What did you do today? What did they get to me? And they go, well, what did you do today? I said, well, I went to Brooklyn, and I went to Fort Hamilton, and I signed up, and I joined the Air Force. My mother goes, without missing a beat, are you a lesbian or a hoa? So I point to my sister, I go, she's the lesbian, I must be the whore.